And welcome back to the Dynasty Rewind, everybody. The best in the business is back in business. Hopefully, you survived week 3 unscathed. But if you didn't, we're here to help you through it. So, before we get to that, I want to let everyone know that I've been looking for a new challenge, which is why I'm playing Dynasty Owner Fantasy Football this season. Dynasty Owner Fantasy Football unites the fun and excitement of fantasy football with the skill and strategy of the front office. Dynasty Owner is the only way to play fantasy football with real NFL salaries, adding the strategy of running an NFL franchise. Dynasty Owner provides a unique challenge for diehard fantasy football fanatics. So go to dynastyowner.com/rewind. We've all been in a league where the winner just got lucky, or if you're like me, not so lucky. If you're like me and know you're better than most, Dynasty Owner gives you the platform to prove it. Dynasty Owner favors skilled players who can manage their roster using real NFL salaries within the salary cap. It adds an entirely new level of strategy. It's so funny, Workman. So go to dynastyowner.com/rewind and validate your fantasy football skills. Again, that is dynastyowner.com/rewind. Start your dynasty today. So welcome back again to the Dynasty Rewind, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Bauer. Like I said, for the best in the business, back in business. We're not just Dynasty, even though it's in the name. We do everything. Redraft, just everything. So you're in the right spot. So joining me, like always, we got Porkman. How's it going, Porkman?
I'm great, man. Just happy to be here again. I was telling the boys, it's another blessed Friday with these other beautiful 3 men here.
Okay, well, thank you, Porkman. Always happy to have you. And we got Chev and Nooney. What's good, Chev?
The boys are back on Friday night. It's weird not having a guest, but I'm definitely blessed to have you guys on. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a blast.
That is true. It is weird not having a guest, but it's kind of cool, the 4 of us. That being said, on our waiver wire stream on Tuesday, our last guest to the foreseeable future, we have Chase Vernon coming on. So make sure to look out for that. Waiver wire show, Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. There's nothing else good to watch. Just that. And also joining us today, we got Nate Christian. What's up, Nate?
I'm just glad to be here because my computer was like wilding out before. And
wilding.
that's why we're late tonight. So my bad.
So everyone checking in here. We got Phil Pennington Jr. saying, "What up, fellas? What's up, Phil? Good to see
good,
you."
Phil?
He's checked in a few times. And the guys over at Fantasy and Frames, sup, Mike, Porkman, Nate, and Chev. So check me out Sunday morning from 11 to 12-ish, I think. I don't know. Go on, check out Fantasy and Frames, check out their website. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review to everything they do. And you can catch me live, and also going to be live with us on Sunday mornings, Oklahoma Doug, our very own Oklahoma Doug. No IDP waiver wire show this weekend. I do apologize. Doug had some internet issues, so he wasn't able to do that, but he's going to be back for the attack next week. You can guarantee it. So let's talk some notes. And unfortunately, it's mostly just injuries anymore. It's kind of sad, but it's also very 2020. So Leonard Fournette and Chris Godwin are out on Sunday for the Bucks. So big ups for Rojo. This is the one. This is killing Porkman. Alan Lazard underwent core muscle surgery, and he's out indefinitely.
Jeez.
Just when you thought you had the Packers' number 2 wide receiver down.
Yeah, because he balled out last game.
He really did.
And then all of a sudden I thought I had something, and I get some random message. It was like, yeah, what? Core surgery? Where'd this come from?
Right?
But it is what it is. I mean, we just gotta. This is 2020 at this point. We just gotta keep it pushing, move forward.
Word is he was trying to tackle somebody that caught an interception, and that's how he tore his core muscle port.
That's not what happened.
Oh.
So speaking of worst case scenario is happening right here. The NFL has postponed Tennessee and Pittsburgh. Both teams now have bye weeks for week 4. So make sure you set those lineups appropriately. Game has been rescheduled for week 7. The only plus side I could say is if you're an A.J. Brown owner, he's got another week to come back. Might not have played this week anyway.
Same thing with Deontay Johnson. He's got an extra week
correct.
to heal up from his concussion. So
yeah, absolutely. Detroit Beastie checking in. How's it going? Good evening to you as well.
Hey.
So the worst news of the week, though, Jets are not planning to fire Adam Gase in season per The Athletic.
I'll drink to that.
I don't want to root for somebody to get fired. We really shouldn't. Just like you should never root for somebody to get injured. But come on, man.
Yeah, I think what they're really just waiting on is for him to tear his ACL at MetLife Field is what I think they're really waiting on, so they can just put him on IR. Uh,
That would be the most humorous injury of 2020, though. I could definitely say that. So Chris Carson is likely to suit up Sunday. Would you guys start Chris Carson if he plays on Sunday? Or are you just staying away? Do you think Carlos Hyde is actually the better play there?
no.
Or you're just going to stay
I'm
away?
starting Carson if I have him and he's
Yeah.
playing.
Okay. All right. That's what I kind of thought as well. So Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert are both out again for San Francisco. But you do get Kittle and Deebo Samuel back. On the flip side of the gridiron, Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey are out for Philadelphia, and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is doubtful, hopefully cut. Cam Akers is still nursing that rib injury. He's going to be out for the Rams. Henry Ruggs is doubtful for the Raiders. Brian Edwards is out. Both Jared Cook and Michael Thomas are out for the New Orleans Saints, so Alvin Kamara is going to get about 1,000 touches this week. DeAndre Hopkins is a game-time decision for Arizona, so make sure you monitor that carefully. And Bryce Love is back on IR with a knee setback, so we thought it was going to be Bryce Love's season. I really hope to see him play, liked him a lot coming out of college, so let's see what happens. So it's just kind of...
So back to the Eagles, right? I got a question. Who was the number 2 receiver?
Jalen Hurts, probably.
But if he can catch the ball,
He
split him
can.
out wide.
Out there?
Who is their number 2 receiver this week?
Deontay Burnett, maybe?
It's either him or Hightower, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Hightower. I forgot how much I hate him.
Oh, Quez has
Right.
been... So here, I want to ask you guys. They activated a 21-day practice window for Quez Watkins. Do you know what that means? Like, does that mean that after that they have to either put him on the active roster or put him on IR? Nate,
Yep.
you're nodding your head.
That's what I'm pretty sure it is. I saw that. Like, if they have time to let him practice and see if he's really healthy, and
Okay.
it is all weird this year, but that's actually pretty nice. I mean, they have that long to make a decision.
Yeah, and I do like the short-term IR, which I'm hoping is kind of a thing that stays around after this. Maybe.
Yeah, I think the players are going to fight for it because, I mean, it's good for players, it's good for teams. I don't see why, even if it's not 3 weeks, maybe they just do like a 5-week or a 6-week. I think just having a couple more short-term options are better.
Yeah, I do think that they should allow rosters more flexibility.
Mhm.
Really, I understand that the NFL is a big next man up
Mhm.
sport, but injuries can happen, especially they call it a contact sport. It's really a collision sport if you think about it.
And I hate every year when you have like some player who's questionable for 5 weeks and doesn't play like game time decision. It's
Right.
terrible.
It's
Like
tough for
AJ
us.
Green
it's tough
last
for
year.
them.
It's like thought he was going to play every single week and never played.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that's
Who
nice.
knows? So let's talk about things that were played. We're going to react to Thursday night's game real quick. Got some studs and duds. I got a stud right here. What do you guys think about Sam Darnold? Ice in his veins. He was 23 of 42, 230 yards, no touchdowns, also no interceptions, 6 carries, 84 yards, and 1 touchdown. He did get knocked out of the game briefly, but he did come back in. So, Mitch,
Freaking Lamar.
Like that stat.
I told Chef that mustache was legit, yo.
Melissa does not think so. I have to show her this podcast to her after this.
Yeah, Sam Darnold out there looking like Lamar Darnold out there just running. He juked somebody out there boots and just, I don't know, that was nuts.
yeah.
But he's tough as nails for coming back in the game for getting slammed down like that. I really thought he broke something like a collarbone or separated his shoulder or whatever. But they must have gave him the good drugs last Thursday night because that's crazy.
So
I
he
wouldn't
was
take that.
he was diagnosed after that with a sprained shoulder. So I did have to start him in one league last night, which actually it was in my super flex spot. So it paid off pretty well for me. My other quarterback there is Josh Allen. So the rushing upside is good. So you got to monitor that real closely. What do you
Can
guys
we
think?
talk about him getting sacked by a ghost last night? I mean, it really happened. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Dude just got knocked down out of nowhere, and maybe he does see ghosts at MetLife. Maybe there is something going on there that we do not know about. I don't know. We gotta dig in more of this. I'll take that part. I'll dig in more to MetLife and see what we got going on there, because when you got a guy getting sacked by a ghost and getting intercepted by ghosts, We're going to have a problem.
Cursed ground.
Yeah, I mean, that turf there, though, they got to do something with that MetLife turf. Mitch has a good point. Darnold seems like a great fit for replacing Breeze in New Orleans or Jimmy G in San Francisco. I don't hate that.
I would be totally okay with Darnold in New Orleans if Sean Payton thinks that he likes him and that he can work with him. Like that could be really good.
Yeah, I'd like that. You know, San Francisco too wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
I think they're pretty committed to Jimmy G.
Yeah, they are. But it's sad because Darnold has the talent. He just stuck with that idiot.
Hopefully not for too much longer. Yeah, hopefully not for too much longer. Hey, Jerry Jeudy, 2 catches, 61 yards on 4 targets, and a hell of a touchdown catch too. That was a nice catch. Melvin Gordon looking good. 23 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 11 yards on 3 targets. I want to talk about Brett Ripon real quick, Nate. I believe we had a bet, so we could just pay that up now because he's in the stud. 19 to 31, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He also had 5 carries for -5 yards. That was all victory formation stuff.
I will say, I mean, I lost this bet, but for some reason, I was thinking of different quarterbacks scoring when I was, because I even said, I was like, oh, 12 points is 200 yards and a touchdown with no interceptions. Because for some reason, I was thinking 1 point every 25 passing yards and -2 points for every interception. So when he threw that 3rd interception, I was so excited because I was like, oh, I'm going to win this bet. And I checked Sleeper and I was like, ah, dang it. Totally wrong.
Would you like to pay that up now, Nate? All right. And that's right. Chev had the under as well. So he's doing a little bit of chugging there. So throughout the show, if you just want to think about something else like this, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at right now.
All right. Perfect.
Don't you worry.
How about Jamison Crowder coming back from injury? 7 catches, 104 yards on 10 targets, no touchdowns, but that's 17.4 points in most leagues if you're playing full PPR. For no touchdowns, that's Julio Jones-esque. No touchdown.
When he's on the field, man, he is heavily targeted, and he is somebody that catches a lot of those passes. So he's somebody that you definitely want in your lineup. The problem is you never know when this guy's going to get hurt. It's like 24/7 where this guy's either on the injury list or he's battling some kind of injury. So hopefully he can stay healthy and be a weapon for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, they use him well. Let's talk about some duds. We keep saying it's Chris Herndon season, but is it ever? 1 catch, 11 yards on 3 targets.
So
bad. Yeah, that pisses me off so much.
And when he caught that ball, the dude's fast.
Yeah, he's fast as hell. But why are you throwing the ball to Ryan Griffin and having Herndon block? You just flip it the other way, you idiot.
I don't get it.
But I'm not the coach. I don't know.
In case of the Gases, man.
I would rather have Porkman be the coach of the Jets than Gaze, man. That would be awesome.
I'll whip them guys right in shape, bro. I give P. Ryan all the carries.
Yes, please do.
Speaking of P. Ryan, I just want to point out that in the Dynasty Rewind Listener League, I am playing Mike this week, and he started P. Ryan in his flex spot.
I think I might not have had much of a choice, right?
My team's Ryan scored a 1.5.
Yeah, that he did. Cheers to you, Lamical. I love you, bud.
He should have started Old Murray.
That is Mike's 7th round pick.
It's a long season.
All of our teams suck in that league, man. It is really so bad.
You know what? That league, the funny thing about it is it's our podcast. It's our league, and we're the worst teams in the league.
We're trash.
We should probably kick Garrett out.
Well, I'm going to go 50-50 because Melvin Gordon scored 25 points for me last night.
Big bless.
And I'm going to beat Mike here with his...
Michael P. Ryan.
Yeah, I'm going to beat Mike. He's got Mike Williams out too, so...
Oh, is Mike Williams out?
Yeah, he's hurt.
So Mike Williams is hurt again. Yeah, listen, by the way, I'm going to beat Mike. That's not saying much this season. Also, I would like to take a moment and say, John Harbaugh, please give Mark Ingram the ball more. I needed 7 points from him. I got 3. I would have been 3-0 in one league. Now I'm 2-1.
You're good.
Okay.
Just one bad week.
Let's chill. Mitch has a question. Love answering these questions. Love you, Mitch. You're awesome. 12-team, half-point PPR, Superflex. Michael Thomas or Darnold plus James Robinson plus Darius Slayton plus a 21 first. It's tempting with the first round pick and it being super flex. What do
So
you guys think?
if you take all those players at separate value, okay, Darnold in a super flex league is more than a single first. I mean, probably 2 firsts in a super flex league. James Robinson right now is going for a first for contenders. Darius Slayton is probably worth a mid first. So like,
first.
I think Darius Slayton's worth like a mid to late first.
I would agree.
So
And there are
you got,
times
like-
where Darius Slayton could have weeks like Mike Thomas.
yeah, and he's only his second year, so
Right.
And like there's no one else that Daniel Jones is going to throw to there, in the future. I mean, Shepard's going to be gone, Golden Tate's going to be gone, Ingram's going to be a free agent, not this offseason, but next offseason, and he hasn't really done much this year either. So, that package, that's a lot of value.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as even if you're rebuilding or contending, I'm taking that package, I think.
Plus, it's not guaranteed that Drew Brees is going to be there next year. You never know what could happen. We know that Darius Slayton and Daniel Jones appear that they're going to be together for some time. At least another 2 years, we could say that. They both came in the league together. So, Will Harris checking in saying hi. Will, hello. We're going to talk about some more duds from last night. Porkman Braxton Berrios on 3 targets did nothing.
So the problem with Braxton Berrios is if Crowder's in, then you don't play Berrios.
Yep.
And if his Crowder's out, you play Berrios because they have this. That's the same. They have the same thing. They have the same
game.
package. Yeah, that's what they do. They play both in the slot. So I mean, I didn't start him because I saw Crowder was in. So
I just wanted
that's
to
what
pick
that
on
was
you.
about. Oh no,
for,
no, because I love Braxton Crunch Berrios. I love that guy.
All right. So, in one other observation, I haven't gotten any updates on this, but Noah Fant was carted off with an ankle injury. Does anybody have any updates on that?
I heard it was minor.
Okay.
I don't know. It didn't sound like they were too worried. So hopefully it is. We'll see.
All right. Yeah, I hope so too. Because as it turns out, I have a lot more Noah Fant in places than I thought I did.
And then one person that you missed, Tim Patrick, for some reason wanted the ball out.
I did miss that. Yeah,
last
he looked
night,
good.
too. I'm not really sure how, because he's not really that good. But I guess he had a rapport with Rippon, so I guess he just felt comfortable throwing him the ball, and he looked pretty good at it.
That makes sense. All right. So we already talked about paying up our bet. So Nate's going to come up with something throughout the show. And if you want to talk real quick about looking good, let me just go ahead and click right over to our banners here because I want to talk to you guys about something, and that's Manscaped. Support for the Dynasty Rewind is brought to you by Manscaped.com, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. When was the last time you could see behind the bushes? I was actually behind the bushes outside my house today, but that's besides the point. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created and just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. Their third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. Porkman's taking shots. He's so excited. Manscaped obsesses over technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. And for a limited time only, Sean will fly to any location in the continental United States on his dime, and he will manscape you personally.
Oh.
These also use only the best ingredients in their formulations. When you trim the bushes, the tree stands taller. When I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, so you can take a longer shave. But don't worry, there is a charger on Sean's Jetstream. One of the coolest features is the LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for closer and more precise trimming. They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with Quiet Stroke technology. Quiet Stroke, what you do when your kid's in bed next to the room that you're in. And let's not forget about the charging stand. Show off your mower loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. If you are listening to me speak right now, you are one of the first people to hear about this life-changing project, and I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. So trim that junk of yours. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code PORK20 at manscaped.com on the bottom of the screen or coming out of my mouth right now. Level up your hygiene routine with only the best manscaping tools, your balls, and we will thank you because they pay us when you buy stuff with that promo code. So once again, get 20% off and free shipping with the code PORK20 at manscaped.com. Trim your junk with Manscaped. And listen, I want to talk to you guys about something else real quick. This next thing is not a paid promotion, but you got to look good with your clothes off. You got to look good with your clothes on, too. I want to talk to you guys real quick about Veridian Global. This is started by a good friend of ours, Will Harris from True North Fantasy Football. At Veridian Global, we bring football to life through apparel. Want the hottest designs on the coolest gear? Veridian has hoodies and T-shirts that you can rock at the stadium or at home tinkering with your fantasy lineup. We get football. We get design. So go check out our site at www.veridianglobal and give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at Veridian Global. And if you use the code Big Mike sent me, I can't even say my name, you'll get 10% off your first purchase because Veridian loves all that is Dynasty Rewind, and we love you guys right back. So make sure you go check out Veridian Global, Will Harris, and the entire crew over at True North Fantasy Football. They are all fantastic. We love them, and we know that they love us right back. So let's get back to our show. Let's see what everyone's saying here. You guys should be forced to look at the screen when Mike is reading the Manscaped ad. Only going to increase your entertainment value. That's right. Check us out on YouTube. So that is that. Nate, do you have a Devi player for us this week?
I do have a Debbie player for us.
All right, let us have it.
It's my pick for this year's Blicknoff, which is the top wide receiver in college football. It's also my pick for the Paul Hornung Award, which is the most versatile player in football. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And this kid is a baller. I think he's not mentioned when we talk about the top receivers in this class. Usually we talk about Jamar Chase, Rashad Bateman, Rondell Moore. We're always skipping Jalen Waddle, who is just as talented as those guys. And if he ends up as the wide receiver one out of those four, I wouldn't be surprised because he's through one game, 8 receptions, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last year, 33 receptions for 560 yards, 6 touchdowns. In 2018, 45 receptions, 848 yards for 7 touchdowns. He is so productive. And not only just as a wide receiver, which he is an extremely talented wide receiver, but in the return game, he is a total game changer. So each year he's returned 1 punt for a touchdown, but he's also led the nation last year in return yard average with 24.4 yards per return. Ridiculous. Also, let's see here. Got my stats up here. He's got a touchdown kickoff return last year. I mean, he was SEC Special Teams Player of the Year. He can do it all. And I've seen before analytics talk about how receivers who can make impact in the return game usually have a better chance of breaking out because that means even if they get the ball on screens and sweeps, they can still make an impact. These are the guys we're looking for, wide receivers who can make things happen after the catch, and that's Jalen Waddle. He's the best at it. So keep him on your radar. He's still.
I love myself some Jalen Waddle.
People know he's good, but he's not gotten to that top tier yet, even though he should be.
Now, with his speed, Nate, do you think he projects better in the NFL than Henry Ruggs does? Because I feel as though he might, because he has the height to do it with that explosiveness.
Yeah, I like him more than Henry Ruggs as a prospect.
So do I.
Yeah, and I mean, there was so much speed on that Alabama team last year between Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's why people talk about, Ruggs and Jeudy didn't have like high target shares. Well, there's 4 first-round picks. So,
hey,
Must be nice.
Must be nice to be Tua.
No kidding.
Phil has a good point. Phil Pennington says Patrick is an ad, boys. 85% snap share, biggest target on the field, has some rapport with Locke. Yeah, that's great. I agree. I mean, you should definitely pick him up. He's probably available in a lot of places. So go ahead. There you go. You heard here from Phil Pennington first.
Phil's awesome. He's over at the Dynasty Nerds. He's a writer, and he's starting up an offensive line breakdown series. He's going to be breaking down offensive lines for all the teams. You know how it impacts your fantasy running backs and stuff. So he's really awesome. Make sure to give him a follow. He's putting out good content.
Yeah, check out Brad Wire too. He's been doing that, I believe, at the Undroppables too. So
Yeah.
I mean, we don't ever think about it. We always like, oh yeah, he's got a good line. Cam Akers had the worst line, you know. So we always talk about it. Nice to see somebody actually going out and doing the stats that I do not even want to peek at. So
Phil, the only thing that would make your ratings better over at the Nerds is if you were wearing a Dynasty Rewind hoodie while you're doing it. We're going to go ahead and extend that sale to Sunday. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me, so a couple more days to get that in. Yeah, let me know. Okay, great. And Phil's also saying Waddle is greater than Ruggs. So there you go. You heard it here first. Okay, great. Let's talk about some starts and sits. Chev, why don't we start with you?
yeah, I did want to go over some big key players from last night too. The kickers, 8 field goal attempts,
Nuts.
8 makes, 5 extra point kicks, 5 makes. They both had like 18 points in fantasy. So if you had those guys in your lineup, that's big.
I thought I saw Ficken miss one. Or did that get called back on a penalty?
I don't know if Sleeper's wrong, then they missed it. But I got the stats from Sleeper, so we can blame Sleeper tonight.
So I heard, and this is amazing. When Ficken was lining up for a kick, they said he only has a 67% field goal percentage. Like, how is this dude still on a roster, man? Like, there's got to be a kicker out there looking for a job that's better. Just some old vet, you know what I mean? That like bring in Vinatieri.
Oh gosh, come on.
His field goals was looking like punts. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, they were pretty bad at the end. All right. So Chev, who else you got those start wise or sit wise, whatever.
Yeah, and then also Bradley Chubb, 2.5 sacks if you're an IDP lover. I'm going to go with a start this week. I'm going to go with Preston Williams versus the Seahawks. I think it's going to be definitely a big throwing attack game from the Miami Dolphins. I think the Seahawks are going to be a little bit too much. I got to be the head of something, baby. Mustache game too. But I think Seattle's allowing 439 passing yards like Mike had on the show sheet. So definitely somebody to watch out for is Preston Williams. Also, Devontae Parker could be somebody that could blow up this week as well. I just think that this game is just going to be one-sided, and the Dolphins are going to have to be playing from behind really quickly. And if Russell Wilson just keeps going bonkers, it's going to be very hard for them to run that football and be successful. And that run defense is very, very good at Seattle. They're going to be missing Jamal Adams, which is going to hurt their defense a little bit. Yeah. But I definitely think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot this game.
And to kind of just piggyback off what Chev said, one of my starts is Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Seattle for all those same reasons. With Seattle allowing 439 passing yards a game, you could plug Fitz right in there. He might be better than some other options. Porkman, you got one for us?
Yeah, I got Joe Burrow playing Jacksonville Jaguars. Their defense is still cheap, so they're still going to be going through a shootout as well. Joe Burrow has been throwing the ball a ton. Like, it was one game he threw the ball 61 times, which is absolutely
too much for a rookie. Give the ball to Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I mean, they should be giving the ball, but Joe Mixon also has a ton of carries as well. I believe he's fourth or fifth in the league in carries this year. It's just the same thing as last year. They have to figure out the offensive line for him. So I think right now, Joe Burrow has a new favorite target in T. Higgins in the red zone. 2 touchdowns against our Eagles last week. Just kind of hurt, but it was good to see as well. So him going against Jacksonville, I believe they're 28th against quarterbacks, which is terrible. Fourth best for Joe Burrow, so he's gonna be slinging that rock.
Yeah. Nate, before we get to you, can we throw a trade question up here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Porkman, this is your boy right here. It's J-Ron.
Yeah, just earlier.
Trade question, and this is a standard league. Which, come on, why do those exist?
He tried to tell him he doesn't want to be in this league. They keep telling him to go to PPR.
So he tries to quit, and they make him play.
Yep.
All right. He wants to know, keep in mind again, standard scoring. Mark Andrews, Devontae Parker, and Jamison Crowder for Kittle and Julio Jones. Who wins this trade? Nobody, because it's a standard league. But
So at first I thought it was PPR. So I told him the Jameson Crowder side because he's getting good value with Mark Andrews and Crowder with PPR. But once he said standard, I will probably stick with the Julio and Kittle side.
yeah, I think because Kittle gives you that touchdown upside, even though Julio really doesn't. But Mark Andrews forgot how to drop the ball or forgot how to catch the ball. Devontae Parker and Jameson Crowder doesn't really score a lot of touchdowns.
No.
I mean, if it was PPR, like you said, this is so easy. Andrews, Parker, and Crowder on its own. So, what do you get, Chev? Nate, you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I'll take the Kittle and Julio Jones side.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, those are guys you haven't really got much out of this season, right? Like they've only played one game and then I think 2 games. So like these guys are still going to be some studs. I think Julio definitely will have a bounce back. I mean, that offense has thrown so much and they still can't win a game. So, I mean, they just got to get more out of it, I guess. I don't know what to tell them.
Mike Huff checking in saying nobody puts Porkman in a corner. He was a guest on the show. Go check him and Anthony out over at the FF Face Off. Fantastic guys. Fantastic podcast. Mitch is saying, please don't let Joe get rocked again this week. Dude is taking some shots. Yeah.
He got cracked last week, bro.
Did they call a penalty on that? Because they should have.
I don't think so.
Because it was right after the throw, but I've seen guys get penalized for a lot less.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, don't want to see Burrow taking hits like that. I love him. The dude's got ice in his veins.
Dude, Rippin last night was getting hit.
He was.
That was
I
bad.
give
Greg
him
Williams
props.
right there.
Yeah.
That was.
Steve Smith. Steve Smith was pissed last night. He was calling out Greg Williams, and then, oh man, who was the tackle from the Browns?
Oh, Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas said something about it being the defense having like a mentality, and I thought Steve Smith was about to come through the screen and just strangle this dude. He got so mad. He's like, "Boy, don't make me cuss on here." So Steve Smith is somebody that I would not play with, and he's played against Greg Williams a lot apparently, and he is not a big fan of him. And I mean, he's had that track record. Like he's had bounty on players. Like it's not a fake thing. It's real. So, and does it go away? Your mentality is not going to change. Oh man.
I love Greg Williams. I will say that if the Eagles ever fire Jim Schwartz, I hope they hire Greg Williams.
Who's on Facebook right now acting a fool?
I don't know. I can't see. For me, it just says Facebook user. But they're saying your cheek, Chev.
And we're gonna see who this is.
Dax Marley.
Boy, that guy sucks so bad in our league. I can't even talk about that guy right now. His team is booty. He lost to Pops last week. That's how bad he is.
Nate, do you have
Pops advice? That's why.
Do you have a start or sit for us?
I do. So, if you're looking for a flex this week, or heck, if you're looking for an RB2 this week, if James White is not starting, fire up Rex Burkhead.
Yes. Sexy Rexy.
Sexy Rexy, 10 targets last week, 3 total touchdowns. I mean, and they're playing the Chiefs this week. So if James White's not in, Rex Burkhead's going to get a ton of targets.
Yeah.
And I mean, if James White's in, I don't know if you want to start James White because he's coming back after missing a couple of weeks. Yeah. And there's a gazillion running backs in that backfield I don't want to touch. But if James White's not there on Sunday, Rex Burkhead is going to produce. There you go. Okay. So it seems scary to start Rex Burkhead, but like it could happen this week, just like it did last week.
Yeah, he balled out on my bench in a bunch of spots. Did you guys see the comments? Vic Fangio told the Broncos players to just go right to the locker room after all the late penalties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what that was all about? I kind of turned the game off.
It's because of all there was like 2 roughing the passer hits at the last like 2 plays.
Okay.
And like I think Vic said that, and Adam Gase said the same thing when they asked why he didn't shake hands. Adam Gase was like, "Oh, I don't think Vic wanted to shake hands because he was just trying to get his team off the field because it was starting to get spicy."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
which is smart. Like, you can't lose players during this time right now. Like, if you go into a COVID streak and you're missing 5 players because they fought, like, that's not good. It's not what you want your team to do during this time where you're trying to stay as safe as possible, and that's not it.
Exactly.
Jaron's got another. He's got to start sit here. Landry starts at Landry and Anthony Miller, looking for a pivot option for Michael Thomas. For me, if it's one, I'm going to go with Anthony Miller. Personally, you're saying no to that, Chev? Really?
No,
Dude, the Browns are
man.
playing the Cowboys.
I'm going Landry right here, man. Landry's going against the Cowboys. I actually have Baker as a possible nice little start for you boys this week. So I'm rolling with Baker this week. I think Chubb's going to have a big game, but I think Landry is going to be available, and he's going to be somebody that's going to get you some good points this week. He's been rough the first 3 weeks, but he was rough the last season in the first 3 weeks, and they balled out 4 through 17. So I would definitely start Landry. I mean, we get Nick Foles to be quarterback, but we haven't really seen what that's going to look like in a full game.
Okay.
So just my opinion.
Landry also had off-season hip surgery, I believe.
He did, yeah.
Give him a couple weeks to get back to speed. They're playing the Cowboys. Man, there's going to be so many passing yards in that game, just like every Cowboys game.
Yeah.
So,
Who
Did you guys?
Who do the Bears play this week?
Colts.
I mean, the Colts defense is pretty decent, but
Pretty decent.
you know,
They've been
I mean,
really good.
Miller.
you're still going
I'm
Anthony
not-
Miller, Portman?
Yeah, I'm still going Anthony Miller because I'm not trusting Landry. I still don't trust his injury. I also don't trust his hip. He still doesn't look 100% to me.
Right.
So it looks like Nick Foles, he's been targeting, pretty much everybody. He threw the ball to Robinson, Miller, and Jimmy Grandpa. So yeah, we can run this bet up.
Is this?
He widened it up, baby.
Real quick, I want to say that I think Anthony Miller has a higher ceiling, but Jarvis Landry might have a better floor. If that makes sense to you guys. So I hate benching Anthony Miller because I feel like when I bench Anthony Miller, he goes off. Always seems to happen. But all right, Nate, what do you got for us?
All right. No, Sean put it on the board. Porkman and Mike are going Anthony Miller, and Chev and I are going Landry.
All right.
Always.
There you go for a shot.
Did you guys see the video where Baker Mayfield throws a touchdown to the tight end, and he has to run over to his diva wide receivers? Be patient, guys. Love you guys. It's gonna be a great season. Come on.
Yeah.
No, that is the biggest BS. You just took the lead. You shouldn't have to go apologize and say I love you guys.
It's a team.
To me, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Hey guys, I know you think I have swagger, but I don't. I just do Hulu commercials now.
You guys are all making fun of Baker, but I saw that video and I thought to myself, Baker's being a leader. I mean, so
yeah, for sure.
The fact that he has to do that is not on Baker. It's on OBJ and Landry.
Yep.
But he's taking it upon himself to go ahead and be proactive and keep it positive. Try not to get those bad vibes going again in the locker room. I was actually impressed. Baker has been impressing me the last year, really, with his leadership. I think he got humbled in the beginning of last season, and I think he really took it upon himself. Even I really saw the change after the Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph thing. Baker, after that game, he was interviewed and he was like, we can't do that kind of shit, man. We can't do that here. And I think that really, I saw a change in him. He was much more serious and humble at that point. And, as much as I hate to root for the Browns quarterback, God, I'm starting to like him and his stupid at-home commercials.
Actually, I will say this. I love the at-home commercials. Did you see the book club one? That was good.
I like the new one with the grocery bags.
That is good. Sean, our intern, says Debo's getting the green light from Shanahan this week. Comfortable starting him coming off injury. Never best option to start someone coming off of injury, but with COVID situation might be worth it. I did see something that Kyle Shanahan did say his role would be different this week, but he didn't really specify what that meant. So I don't know. I think if I have a better option, I might lean that way. Just lean towards health.
I mean, why would you really put him in a position to send him out there for a bunch of snaps and possibly get re-injured? I mean, you got
Giants.
Yeah, Bourne's been playing good. I mean, you have Ayuk that's been playing good. So,
Ayuk's been balling.
I'm fine with him. I thought they were going to bench him this week. I thought he was coming back in week 5, and then out of nowhere, he's like, "Oh, I'm playing."
We got another one. I can't see the name. Just says Facebook user.
It
I
must
need to
be
pick up a
Dennis.
quarterback for this week due to COVID. Who should I pick up? I can't lose to Pops. He's got bunions. Sorry about that, Pops, man. You better get that looked at. I guess that all depends on who's on your waiver wire, but
Let's
if
see.
Fitzpatrick's floating around out there, or Chev, are
Yeah.
you in this league?
Yeah.
All right,
Joe
so
Burrow, Gardner Minshew.
I like Gardner this week.
So you got Fitzpatrick, Bridgewater, Cousins, Carson Wentz. Somehow he's been dropped. And Nick Mullins.
I
There you
would go Fitzpatrick there because they're
Fitzpatrick-
just going to be
Fitzpatrick
slinging it. Man.
than Mullins, because I love Mullins is nasty.
Someone was saying that the 49ers, I saw a tweet that the 49ers should get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and just turn it over to Nick Mullins.
They should just trade Nick Mullins like a Patriots, like how they got Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mhm.
They should just do that and trade Nick Mullins away for a nice pick.
Yeah.
They put Nick Mullins on the cover of the 49ers versus Eagles game. Do you guys feel disrespected by that, not having Wentz on there?
I don't care.
Don't matter to
Speaking
me.
of that game, if we want to talk about that game, though, I do want to point out something about Nick Mullins first. I said this tweet to you guys, but only two
This
quarterbacks
is
in
fantastic.
NFL history have thrown for over 2,600 pass yards and 14 touchdowns in their first 9 career starts. Can you name those two? One is Patrick Mahomes, and the second is Nick Mullins.
That is so awesome.
Who would have
That's
thought?
crazy.
He might be the real big dick Nick. Like seriously,
Could
he
be.
might be.
Boy, he won you a Super Bowl. You better stop.
He did, and I love Nick Foles. I do. So I got the banner right back there.
But I got our scrub bet.
Hey,
Right.
All right. So I'm trying to keep these to primetime games. That way we can all, watch it and root for it, not just some random 1:00 game you can't watch.
Okay,
Mhm.
I like the way
So-
you think, Nate.
Sunday night, we got a great matchup. The Eagles versus the 49ers.
It's going to be a bad game.
I know, it's,
Oof. Well, at least you're not going to be 0-4.
This is true. Thank you, Nate.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Peterson.
idiot.
All right. So someone we all know, very close to our hearts. We love them dearly. McTasty.
Could see some playing time this
Okay.
week.
He got called up from the practice squad, had 2.8 points in PPR last week. He's back down to the practice squad, where he's going to get called back up most likely because Coleman and Mostert are both out. So, as the third string running back on the 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to set Jermichael Hasty's over-under at 2.
Oh my god.
God, come on, that's the worst.
I'm going over. Hasty McTasty will never get the under with me. Just saying, boys.
I
I'm
don't.
taking the under. 2? No, I'll take the under.
Man, I don't know. That's like the worst number that you could pick. Give me the over, I guess. Because if
Oh,
he
man.
got 2.8 last week, he can get 2.8 again.
Are you saying that the Giants and the Eagles are about the same level of competition?
I mean, right now, yes. Although we technically are better than the Giants by like 0.5 of a game if you consider the tie half a
my
game. So,
Smart stuff, right?
Terrible.
by the way, did you know that Russell Wilson has thrown, I think, either the same or more touchdown passes than all the quarterbacks in the NFC East combined?
That makes
He's also on
absolutely no
pace for like 75 touchdowns.
It's
Yeah, that's-
crazy.
I hope it happens.
He's got to be the MVP. Like so far, he definitely is, in my opinion. So,
So,
yeah, I'll take the over on that.
Chev and Mike on the over. Okay, I'm gonna go with Porkman on the under here.
Okay, all right. So, all right, very good. So, Sean, or I guess I could whatever.
If McTasty does not beat this over, he loses his nickname forever.
He's gonna be really upset.
Just Hasty.
So Troy King checking in. Go check out Troy King, awesome guy. Goff or Fitzpatrick this week?
Golf, always.
Really, you think so? Even against that, you think you're going to take him over Fitzpatrick playing that Seattle defense? Chev, what do you think about this one?
Who does Goff even play this week?
They play the Giants.
Oh, man, I actually think they'll run the ball more, man. They're the highest running team, so I'm gonna go with Fitz.
Okay. Pork.
I'm gonna go Fitzpatrick. The magic is still going.
All right. I'm going to stick with Fitzmagic as well. Also a good. if you do what most people do in stream defenses, the Rams defense this week could be a really good play. So scoop them up. All right. So I think we went through like one round of starts there. I don't even know. I got one. What about if you're really looking for help? Let's say maybe you have James Conner and Derrick Henry. And you need a running back. Adrian Peterson versus the Saints might not be a terrible pickup. He looks to be their feature back at this time for whatever reason. Porkman's going to throw up because he's not happy about it. I don't know, right? Like he got most of the run. Did DeAndre Swift even touch the ball last week, or did he get like one?
I think he had 2 carries or 2 snaps. It was something too. It was bad.
Yeah. Oh, J-Ron wants to know Matt Ryan or Goff. Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
For sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Who the Falcons play?
It doesn't matter because they're going to be losing and they're going to have to throw the ball.
I mean, was Matt Ryan a good fantasy quarterback last week against the Bears?
I believe
Not
so.
too great.
I think he had one touchdown pass.
He threw to Ridley.
He had 13 points last week, 238 yards, 1 interception, 1 TD.
So not Matt Ryan all the time.
All right,
He is
hold on.
playing Green Bay. At Green Bay.
I think I'm going to go Goff.
Okay.
Getting Julio back, I'm going to stick with Ryan. Even though Nate brings up a good point, don't always start Matt Ryan, Michael Bauer. But I'm going Matt Ryan.
Well, there's some spots where I don't have a choice. My other quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think
can't
if
start him.
Adams doesn't play and Lazard's not playing, that game might be a bit more low scoring than the Packers games have recently.
Devontae Adams was a full participant in practice today. I did see. Still have to monitor that.
He did say that he's not going back out on the field until he is 100% healthy, and if it's 99.9%, he's not going out there. So he's going to be very cautious. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Fire up MVS.
Yep, definitely. All right, so Porkman, you have another start for us, or sit, whatever you think.
Yeah. As much as I don't want to say it because he annoys me because he always freaking gets hurt, but he's so goddamn good. Will Fuller. It's like picking between him or Cooks. It's like which one is the number one. But it looks like Deshaun Watson loves himself some Will Fuller. It seems like Will Fuller's been doing more of the intermediate routes. He's not really going deep all the time. Hopefully he's just doing that to save his hamstring so he don't blow those out every freaking week. But yeah, Will Fuller, I think he's a good play. They play the Vikings. The Vikings defense is pretty butt.
Yep, and I have Deshaun Watson as one of my starts too. I mean, he's going against a defense that has just absolutely been torched. The QB rating that they average is 103.5, and they've only gotten 4 sacks on the season. Now, I know that offensive line is not that great, but Deshaun Watson is pretty elusive, and I think he's going to be a guy that you would definitely want to start. He's had like the most brutal schedule. He's played the Chiefs, he's played Pittsburgh, and he's played Nate's Baltimore Ravens. And he had a couple good games out of that. I mean, there was one game that he really struggled, but I think it's behind him. He knows he has to carry that team to a victory. Hopefully David Johnson can get healthy and help him out a little bit, but I'm going to Deshaun Watson this week as a start.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, Deshaun Watson is so talented, and Brandon Cooks has not been healthy. He's played every game, but he has not been healthy this entire time. Will Fuller was... I don't know, that second game against Baltimore, he had a goose egg. He was having a hamstring issue. Who knows? Deshaun Watson's really talented. So in your Dynasty leagues, go out right now. He's a top 5 quarterback in Dynasty. If someone thinks he's like 8, 9, or 10 right now because of how bad the first 3 weeks have been, pay up. Pay up for him. He's a top 5 quarterback in this league, and he's young, and he can't be stuck with Bill O'Brien forever. Come on.
Hopefully not. Hey, I just want to kind of go off that. Somebody just texted me, and he wants to know who to start this week: DeAndre Swift or Brandon Cooks.
I'll start Brandon Cooks.
Right, Brandon Cooks.
Gonna hope for the best with Cooks.
But DeAndre Swift is a guy that you should go buy now. I know I see it in the chat but that dude has not got the run that everybody thought he was going to get. Now is the time to go buy him. They're probably panicking like, oh, man, I messed up picking DeAndre Swift. And now is the time. I mean, after this week, it could be even more of the time to go get him and more cheap to get this guy. And I wrote about that in my last article. I also had Mitchell Trubisky in there, but that went down quick. It did not last. It did not age very well in that article. But DeAndre Swift is somebody I would want to be going to get right now before the blow up happens.
We have a start sit question just for Porkman here. This is from Will Harris. He wants to know, Porkman, who would you start, a fully healthy Dawson Knox or a banged up George Kittle?
Give me the banged up George Kittle. Shoot, George Kittle's nasty. I don't care if he's 50%, he's still probably better than Dawson Knox. But last week, those 2 touchdowns from Tyler Croft were supposed to go to Dawson Knox. Will. Okay. So
Hey,
don't tell
Porkman
me-
opened up his eyes. That's awesome.
Hey. Hey.
Love it. Mitch is saying, give me some Isaiah Coulter when healthy, maybe a Texans version of Gabe Davis. You know, it would be great if they had a Texans versions of DeAndre Hopkins. Would be fantastic.
Really good,
He
probably.
would help them really well.
It
Yeah.
really would. Johnny wants to know, who is more valuable, Joe Mixon or James Robinson?
This is Porkman. Why don't you answer this one, bud?
Yeah, you take this one first, Porkman.
Oh, man. That's tough for me because I love myself some Joe Mixon. I have to say Joe Mixon is still valuable just from name. He's still going to have a whole bunch of you could probably still get a first for him, or maybe you'll probably get a higher first than you would for James Robinson. But next year, James Robinson, I'm not really sure what his role is going to be. That's my biggest
have
issue
one.
with him. Yeah, so I'm saying this year he can ball out. If you want to win now, you can get James Robinson. He's going to get all the carries because Chris Thompson looks like he's 75 years old when he gets the ball.
He looks bad.
Confusing to me. He looks terrible. But again, I don't want our fantasy people that's listening to us to sell Joe Mixon for nothing. I made the same mistake last year. He was playing like straight booty, and then he just balled out. He was the running back 3 the last 8 weeks of the season. So this one is tough for me. I would probably right now, I would just say Joe Mixon is probably more valuable. But if you want to win now, I guess right now, if you're just like really behind, James Robinson, you can play him as well.
Would you, if you had James Robinson, would you trade him away to get Joe Mixon?
I would,
Okay.
because Joe Mixon is a better talent than James Robinson.
He has
It's
the
just that-
contract.
Yeah, and he got the deal. It's just that offensive line pisses me off.
I think it'll get better, though. I do.
It will. There was a tweet somebody put out where there was 3 offensive line got beat, and Joe Mixon somehow got 5 yards. If they can fix that, he can be good again like
He can
last
get
year.
6 yards.
He get a freaking touchdown, or like he's not getting any passing work. That's the other thing. If they decide to put stupid behind Gio Bernard on the bench and give Joe Mixon those third down work, he will be fine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Mixon got 13 targets like an Eckler or a
Yeah, because he can make
Kamara?
somebody miss. Gio Bernard's not making people miss. He can catch. I give him props for that. But Joe Mixon can catch, make somebody miss, and get some extra yards. I just
Get
don't
to the
understand
crib.
what Zach Taylor can see. Yeah, he can go to the house.
Chev, I got a question I want you to answer here. What's everyone's feelings on Justin Jefferson rest of season? We're going to start with you, Chev, and then we're going to kick it over to Porkman to finish this question off.
Yeah, I think he's going to make me a very happy man at the end of the season. He's definitely somebody that is stepping into his role. He's learning. He's getting better every single week. He's taking Olabisi Johnson's second wide receiver job away from him. Good for you, Justin Jefferson. But, I mean, he's a guy that they drafted pretty high. He's a guy that they want to get going. That offense looked pretty poor in week 2, and Justin Jefferson looks like somebody that can be explosive. He can get the ball and do some good things with it too. I mean, that juke at the end of that long touchdown was pretty nasty. So definitely super excited for Justin Jefferson, man. I love this guy since just watching his film, and it's just been an absolute blast watching him grow. And that last week, man, just going off. I think he might have just beat old Van Jefferson in that week alone.
Still early, bro.
Yeah. Van Jefferson,
Now-
he got injured tackling somebody, man. Come on.
Man, he'll be all right.
He's only getting points by tackling players. That's pretty messed up, man.
He's a grown man. He'll get back.
He's ready to retire as well. Porkman.
He's getting old. Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Hey, Sean wants to know. Nate, let's go to you on this one. You know you are not the resident Bear fans. Do you all expect Monty to flash rest of season with 3-down opportunity with Tariq Cohen out? Talking about David Montgomery, Chicago Bears running back.
Yeah, for sure. And not only is Cohen out, so there's more opportunity, but the offense looks better with Nick Foles. There's more of a threat of pass. I mean, even if Nick Foles doesn't turn out to be incredible, there's just more risk for the defense to play a stacked box with Nick Foles.
Yep.
So he's going to see less stacked boxes. He's going to see targets on third down. I mean, it's a hot take, but I think with Cohen out, with the new passing upside for Montgomery, I think there's a good chance he could be a running back one rest of season.
Okay.
Mhm.
And we're going to see what Monty has right now. This is
It's probably
the
a pretty
biggest
top.
opportunity he has. Next year, they could draft a running back. Like, they don't have many people locked up. I mean, they just signed Tariq Cohen, but what's he going to be like with a torn ACL? So, I mean, this is the best opportunity he's had, which is crazy to say because he's had a big opportunity from the beginning, but he's going to be able to catch passes now. He's going to have to. I mean, he's got to show out, or this is not going to bode well for any fantasy value or his value in the NFL.
Will wants to know any concerns about Lamar.
No. Just 1 week.
Yeah.
Fine. And it's crazy. I drive to Maryland every day, and it seems like they lost, like they're 0-4 or 0-3. It's like it was 1 week they played the best team in the league. Can y'all
Dude, I
chill?
was so upset.
It doesn't make any sense.
You
Lamar
can't even be
Jackson
that
is still
upset about
elite.
that game.
I was so upset.
Right? Why I don't understand. Mark Andrews dropped like 4 balls. He overthrew Marquise Brown. It's like, okay, chill out. It's week 3. They're going to go 15-1.
Will Harris also wants to know straight up, I need to know who is better, Devin Singletary or David Montgomery? I'm going with David Montgomery.
I'm going Monty.
Yeah.
That's close for me, honestly,
Not
because
that
I like
close.
Singletary.
Yeah.
Singletary's the type of guy who has really good contact balance and he has very, very good vision. Monty has good contact balance as well, but his vision isn't as good as Singletary's. I still go Monty, but for me, it's actually really close for me. The fumbling thing is the issue for Singletary.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. They make
Right.
fun of his height too much.
He's a tiny, tiny man. Okay. Anybody
So-
else have any other? I'm sorry, Nate, you were saying?
Just one last thing on Lamar Jackson. This is why I'm not worried. Listen to the Baltimore Ravens schedule. Okay.
Oh god, it's freaking cake. It's retarded.
All right. So the next 3 games: Washington football team, Cincinnati Bengals, Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh.
You could left
Okay.
that part out.
There's-
He did say next 3 games. So
all right. And then here's his last 4 games in fantasy football. So week 13, 14, 15, 16. So either the entire playoffs or your last game, then your playoffs. Cowboys, Browns,
Woohoo!
Jaguars,
Yeah.
and then championship week 16, New York Giants.
Nasty.
Dude, this guy's going to win so many leagues.
And,
Nate, hate to put you on the spot. He was talking about Lamar Miller. I'm sorry, I didn't know that either. He just said Lamar. So
but Lamar Miller is going to ball out. I would not start anybody from Washington this week. They're on my all-sit list because Baltimore is going to come out
Yeah.
pissed off and just absolutely destroy these dudes. So
not even McLaurin. You wouldn't start McLaurin at all.
no.
If it's a dynasty league and you drafted him to be your number 2 wide receiver, you're still benching McLaurin for someone else, really? I mean, I'm personally a guy I love starting McLaurin. Nate, what's up? You want to say something?
One of my starts is Logan Thomas.
Okay,
Mhm.
please explain.
McLaurin is questionable. Who else they're going to throw to?
Dontrell
Dontrell
Inman.
Inman.
I hope.
Also,
really hope
Ravens
I
have
wish
not
they
been
would
good
throw
against the
ball to
tight.
Gandy Golden. Get it?
Ravens haven't been good against tight ends. So if McLaurin is not playing, or hey, say McLaurin's playing, but he's questionable, so he's not going to be 100%. Logan Thomas already has a huge target share.
He does.
They're going to be playing from behind. Little dump off passes from Haskins to Thomas. He's a tight end, so you're not expecting a gazillion points, but he could get a lot of garbage time points this coming Sunday.
Did you guys see the report where apparently I saw Ron Rivera saying that Dwayne Haskins' job is on the line here? Like,
Drink that pork, man.
Little early for that, I think. But who are you going to play?
I don't
put
know,
Alex
but
Smith in there?
For Dynasty
Kyle
owners'
Allen.
sake, I pray he does not lose his job.
Well, he's not starting, so we're good.
Bench points.
I'll put in who's the other quarterback?
Did we get
Fitzpatrick.
Fitz? Oh, we got Fitz, baby.
Well,
Breeze.
Who's the backup in Washington? I know Alex Smith is number 3, but who's
Kyle Allen?
Oh,
They traded for him, so
they did. But I don't know. I think it's really early for that.
Yeah, it is early.
I
mean, if they had a good running game, they would be fine.
Yeah. Also, Chase Young isn't going to be playing.
Yeah,
that is true. That hurts them a lot.
Yeah.
No Chase Young. So, all right, and my wife checking in.
Hey, Jenna.
All right. Does anyone else have any other starts and sits? We're at about an hour. My last one, I'll make this real quick. I think Randall Cobb versus Minnesota could be a good play as well. Last week, 4 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. Like Porkman, you alluded to before, I believe it was you. The Minnesota secondary is not good.
No, and he scored a touchdown on a really good pass too.
Yeah,
and a really good pass and catch.
So, all right. Anyone have any other starts or sits, or we want to move right on to Porkman's greasy take of the week?
Greasy take of the week, please.
All right.
Yeah, greasy. I've been trying to think of one all day, and it's tough because you can only get but so greasy to a point where it's like there's no more meat on the bacon; it's just straight grease in the pan. So Russell Gage might be out this week. So I'm gonna go really greasy that Olamide Zaccheaus is going to be a wide receiver 2 this week. I feel as though he's going to get a nice long touchdown today on Sunday. Julio, he's still not 100%, which leaves Calvin Ridley probably a little bit double cover a little bit. So yeah, give me some Zaccheaus.
Okay.
All right.
I'm surprised your smoke alarm didn't go off after that one because that was pretty hot take, man. I like it though.
Grease
Super
fire.
greasy.
And going back to last week, I would have got it right with Nick Mullins if Jordan Reed didn't do Jordan Reed things. So we'll see. That don't hurt. But Nick Mullins did have a touchdown in like 380 some yards. Yeah, it was close. I think he was QB 15.
Good stuff. Always good stuff.
Not
from
Dawson Knox, Will. I'm not picking. I'm not doing Dawson Knox, Will. Can you leave me alone?
Well, all right. Does anyone have anything else to add?
No, sir. Not that I can think of.
Okay, great. So then at this point in time, Chev, let's kick it over to you.
Yep. So we're going to be in 1 Peter 5. It's going to be verse 6 and 7. It says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you." So for me, you got to be humble all the time, man. You got to remember where you came from. You got to remember where you started from. And just because you're doing something good doesn't mean you have to brag or do anything like that, say you're the best and stuff like that. Be humble with yourself. Know that all your talents aren't just yours. It's God-given. It's how are you going to make God happy today with your talents? Are you going to do it to praise him? Or are you going to do it to praise yourself? I mean, just casting all your anxieties on him as well. Like, we're all going through stuff. We're all going through crazy things. I remember listening on the podcast where Jenna was on. She was on that stream with you, Mike, where she was talking about anxiety is super high for all these kids. So just being helpful for people that are having anxiety, like it's not their fault. It's just they have anxiety for what's going on. And I totally agree. We all have anxieties, and just giving them up to God and just letting him take care of that and trusting that he will be there for you.
All right, Chev. Like always, thank you so much for that. So anyone have anything else before we head out for the night?
Nope.
All right, fantastic. So, Chev, we'll let you lead us out. Where can we find you on Twitter?
Yep. So you can find me at Chev Boyardee, Boy with an I, and also writing articles at Dynasty Vipers. They got some good content coming out, man. So pay attention. Hey, let's get my boy up to 2K followers, man. Let's get him going.
Who's that?
Matt Donnelly, man. Dingus.
Dynasty Dingus. Go check out Dynasty Dingus. Check out the Dynasty Vipers and everything Chev's doing over there.
Mm-hmm.
And also putting out some great content everywhere he goes. Nate, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Nate NFL. I promise that my content is not as generic as my handle.
It's one of my best lines, if I may say. And Porkman, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me as FF Porkman. And this may sound stupid, but people, please take out your Steelers and your Titans this week.
Check your lineups. Yeah, basically is what Porkman's saying. So just want to remind everybody, we're going to extend that hoodie presale, and maybe I'll throw in a signed Dynasty Rewind show sheet. So, and yes, Sean, I just said that. Thank you. That's our
You typed
intern.
it before you said it.
I wasn't looking at that. I'm the host. I have hosting things to do. So I'll throw that in. Our first one, remember I put on Twitter. Next one that buys it gets it. That goes out to Corey Rosnick at Brother Roz on Twitter. Great guy, great follower of the show, great friend. But until next week, if you are so inclined, you can follow me on Twitter at DMBauer85. I would prefer you follow our satire show account at Dynasty Rewind. Follow us on all the other socials. We're real easy to find. Subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe to our YouTube, or you're dead to me. Until next time, everybody, be kind. Please rewind. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.